Hello, this is Sarah Brash. Welcome back to my channel. So this video is going to be about Yale Law School. And what I specifically want to talk about is there are, well, one of two scandals, very recent scandals at Yale Law School. And what I want to talk about is how, in particular, I want to first talk about the scandal at Yale Law School, the debacle at Yale Law School, involving a Yale Law School student named Trent. I'm not sure how he pronounces his last name. I'm just going to pronounce it Colbert because that's how, the comedian Stephen Colbert pronounces his last name. In fact, I don't even know if that's real or a joke or whatever, but anyway. So, Trent Colbert is a Yale Law School student. I believe he's a 2L in his second year of the 3-year program. And he actually is a Native American Yale Law School student. I believe he's a member of the society or an association for Native American Yale Law School students, something like that. And he also is a member of the Federalist Society, which is a conservative group. They promote conservative values and they work to get, conservative judges on the bench and the judiciary. And so there is a Federalist Society at Yale Law School, and this particular law school student at Yale is a member of the Federalist Society. I believe he's actually, someone who's in, has some position of authority within the Federalist Society at Yale Law School. So anyway, to make a long story short, this was, is it a month ago now? Something like that. Anyway, he sent out a party invite on some kind of, I guess it was in some way, shape, or form affiliated with Yale Law School, but he sent out a party invite on some kind of, group chat kind of platform. I guess it's called GroupMe, and it was pretty silly. And he talked about it was a joint event being held by the Native American Law School Student Association and also the Federalist Society. And he sent out this invite, and in the invite he referenced a trap house, which I guess people have been debating about what is actually the, official or technical meaning of the term trap house. I guess some people were trying to say that this was a racist reference because it refers to a crack den in, like a black neighborhood or something like that. And then other people were saying no, it has these really sort of, comical references, really benign references, it means a place where high school students go to drink beer, or it just, people were arguing about whether or not it was a racist term, and they were arguing about what the term means at all. So anyway, so he referenced a trap house in this invite, and he also referenced Popeye's fried chicken, and he said that they were going to have basic bitch snacks. And so I guess a lot of people got really up in arms, in particular the black, Yale Law School and just Yale student groups, including the professional and graduate student groups and the student body. And so there were all of these complaints made, all of these complaints filed, saying that this was a horrible, racist thing that had happened, and that Trent Colbert should be disciplined, and that he needs to make an apology, in particular to the black students at Yale Law School, and that this was this horrible traumatic thing that happened to black students at Yale Law School, this party invite that was apparently quite racist according to them. So anyway, Trent Colbert got called into, whatever diversity, equity, and inclusion office exists at Yale Law School by two, diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. You can't forget about belonging when you're talking about Yale. administrators, and that they basically, long story short, threatened his future career prospects, threatened his bar admittance, threatened his ability to take the bar exam, threatened basically just to ruin him, destroy his career as an attorney before it even began, and really shocking. And so what ended up happening is that I guess they were pressuring this Yale Law School student for weeks, maybe even months, and they were pressuring him to apologize to the black students of Yale Law School, and they even drafted an apology for him to sign. And then they basically said like that if he didn't do this, that this could, negatively impact his future career prospects, and just made all these thinly veiled threats about destroying him, destroying his career, keeping him from being admitted to the bar because of the character and fitness aspect, and saying that they would make negative reports about him to the bar so that he wouldn't get admitted because they would say he was unfit and of poor moral character. Just really horrible things. So the student Trent Colbert finally, I guess, took a voice recording of this conversation, basically being berated by these two DEI and belonging administrators at Yale Law School. I think one of them is named Cosgrove and the other one was named Eldick, I think was the last name. But anyway, just horrific behavior on the part of the Yale Law School administration, and in particular on the part of these DEI administrators at Yale Law School. So just awful, just absolutely horrendous what this student had to go through, what Trent Colbert had to go through. So he released this voice recording of these thinly veiled threats, not even thinly veiled basically, against him by these Yale Law School DEI, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion administrators, and he released it to the press, and I think in particular he released it to Aaron Siberium at the Washington Free Beacon. And so this got out and it just exploded all over the news. Everybody's very upset about it, and then sort of like, the woke, press and and woke academia are trying to say, oh no, this was this really horrific racist thing that happened, and he does need to apologize. Like, it's just ludicrous. And then, of course, there, everyone else is saying, like, this is insane. This is woke madness. This is woke tyranny. This is absolutely ridiculous what happened to this student, and the Yale Law School needs to apologize. And very recently, like Brian Leiter of the Leiter Law School Reports, he posted a blog and he referred to this letter. There was a scathing letter written by this former Carter administration official who's also a Yale Law School alum, and he wrote a scathing letter to the Yale Law School administration. And of course, Heather Gerken, Yale Law School Dean Heather Gerken got involved, and she said, oh, we're gonna have to, they tried to backtrack and say, oh, he was never disciplined, but they sent out these two DEI administrators at Yale Law School, sent out an email to Trent Colbert's class, the 2L class, and they basically unequivocally condemned him as a racist, condemned this party invite that referenced a Traphouse as racist, and basically insinuated that there were going to be all these repercussions for Trent Colbert in particular. And so evil, lying, bigot, and fraud Yale Law School Dean Heather Gerken tried to backtrack and say, no, we never sanctioned him, we never, disciplined him in any way. We would never file a negative report about, a student, that hadn't been officially disciplined, to the bar, to the Character and Fitness Committee. And so, but of course these were all just, lies and trying to save face. And then So what recently has been happening is that a lot of people, like I mentioned, Brian Leiter referenced one letter, are demanding that Yale Law School apologize to Trent Colbert, and actually I believe he pronounces his name Akil Amar. He is a Yale Law School professor, very liberal. He spoke at a recent Federalist Society event, and it was documented in the Washington Free Beacon. I believe that's the name of that press, that newspaper, with Aaron Siberium. I believe that's how he pronounces his name, is a a journalist there, and so he's been reporting a lot on what has been happening. And on Twitter, Monica Bell, of course, evil, lying bigot and fraud, who tried to drive me to suicide by defaming me in the NYU Law Review, to protect, Veshla Weaver, a member of the Justice Collaboratory at Yale Law School. I've done multiple blog posts and YouTube videos about that. So anyway, she apparently is best friends with the LDIC, one of the Yale Law School diversity, equity, and inclusion administrators, has been trying to defend him online. Of course, it's indefensible. Their behavior is completely indefensible. And there's been subsequent scandals, like apparently this particular Yale Law School diversity, equity, and inclusion administrator had a very, racist, bigoted, anti-Semitic speaker come to Yale Law School, and he apparently refused to distance himself from it. And so, there's just like been scandal after scandal after scandal at Yale Law School. And so my point, I don't want this video to get too long, I'm going to make more videos about this for sure, is that all of these people who are saying, like, Yale, demanding Yale Law School apologize to Trent Colbert, well, they need to apologize to me, because if you are up in arms, if you are furious, if you are irate, if you are incredulous over the way Yale Law School treated Trent Colbert, then your mind is going to be blown when you find out about what Yale Law School did to me. And now everyone, the whole world, knows that I've been telling the truth all along. I've been telling the truth all along about what Yale Law School Dean Heather Gerken, the Justice Collaboratory member Veshla Weaver, formerly from Yale, now a Johns Hopkins professor. Same thing with Chris LeBron, formerly at Yale, now a Johns Hopkins professor, what they all did to me. So, and in particular, Monica Bell, she is pure evil. She's pure unadulterated evil. She tried to drive me to suicide by grossly defaming me. I was a Justice Collaboratory member. I worked briefly with Monica Bell. She knew me as an innocent Yale grad student and a civil rights attorney. So she defamed me in the NYU Law Review to drive me to suicide, to protect Veshla Weaver, because Veshla Weaver and Chris LeBron, after the Living or Not Being Well Black hate crime hoax at Yale, worked with Vox.com to defame me and drive me to suicide and destroy my life and destroy my lifelong human and civil rights career. And they did this to use me as a proxy to get revenge against Yale, because Chris LeBron was denied tenure at Yale. And that's why both Chris LeBron and Veshla Weaver moved to Johns Hopkins. They were both formerly at Yale. They both knew me. I would even say at one point Chris LeBron knew me well. I worked on a couple of explicitly anti-racism conferences with him at Yale, with my Yale philosophy professor advisor, Jason Stanley. So it's like all of these people knew me. They knew I was innocent. They knew I was an innocent Yale grad student civil rights attorney. They lied about me. They used me to make moral outrage industry money. They lied about me. They used me and lied about me to advance their careers, to get revenge against Yale, for all kinds of reasons. And then presumably, I lost my advisor. I lost my advisor, Tom Tyler, the father of procedural justice, a co-director of the Justice Collaboratory at Yale Law School, my then advisor. Initially, he was very very supportive after the living or napping while black hate crime hoax at Yale. So I lost my advisor, and presumably this was at the behest of Tracy Mears, a longtime friend and collaborator of Veshel Weaver, who remains a member of the Justice Collaboratory to this day. So I've documented all of this, and now everyone knows I'm telling the truth. And if you think Yale Law School needs to apologize to Trent Colbert, then I need about 1 million apologies from Yale Law School, starting with Yale Law School Dean Heather Gergen. Okay, I am going to wrap this up because I don't want this video to get too long. I will make more videos about this, and I love you all so much. I'll have all my fundraising links below, and have a great night. I love you all so much. Thank you. Bye.